The latest new release from Airfix, an all-new tool, 1/72nd scale Hawker Tempest Mark V. This aircraft was introduced into service in 1944 and had a small post-war career. It was a very successful design, being far superior to the Hawker Typhoon, which it replaced in many squadrons, and having a lot further range and a much more powerful engine, which was a lot faster. It was used in both ground attack role and for chasing down V1 flying bombs during the later part of the war. There have been 1/72nd scale Tempests before, most noticeably by Hella, which was around for many years and even featured in the Airfix catalogue at one point. So here we go, let's have a look at what Airfix have done with this one. The kit is presented on 4 grey runners and 1 clear runner. Now this is obviously the main runner, the fuselage halves. One thing I did notice was there are 2 different types of spinners. Now that was something I wasn't aware of on the Tempest, so good call Airfix for picking that one up. I particularly like the fully ribbed section. You can see it here on the right hand side. What you have there is basically the large scoop for the underside of the nose, but also the sidewalls for the undercarriage bays. Now this will tie in with some of the detail we'll see a little bit later. The cockpit is basic, but for most people good enough. Bear in mind the cockpit on this aircraft was predominantly black. So not a lot to see here, though I suspect most people will be adding seat belts. The fuselage halves do have some internal moulded detail for the sidewalls. Now on the real thing, there was just like the Typhoon preceding it, there was these large tubular structures. Now obviously they can't represent that in true form, but in an all black cockpit in 1/72nd scale, I think they've done a mighty fine job here. When you combine that with the other parts that are already supplied on the sprues. The front radiator has a very fine mesh effect, which will look quite good under wash. But surprisingly, the rear part of it is totally flat with no detail at all. A little bit disappointing. Again, you'd have to be holding the model up, looking at it at a specific angle to see into this area. But it is disappointing that you've got this beautiful detail on the front piece, but nothing on the back piece. I am sure the Edward or some of the other etch brass manufacturers will have a detailed part to add to this section shortly. And here's the little 1/72nd scale pilot. It's not a bad little moulding in this size. It is very tiny, even down to the chin strap hanging down. Yep, I can certainly see a few of these appearing in the models and also being much sought after by people who want to man other aircraft. The upper wing is moulded as one long piece, also contains part of the cockpit floor, which will be visible on the finished model very obviously, so don't forget to paint this area, and the area on the lower wing section, which is also one piece. This does solve any issues with dihedral. A rather nice little pilot figure in the lower left hand corner, we'll have a look at him in a minute, but basically yeah, very nice, really well detailed. Engraved panel lines, there are engraving in this. It is the standard depth panel lines all the way across. Now certainly you might want to add a bit more definition to the ailerons, because as I say, the engraving is exactly the same as a panel line engraving, which doesn't really make it leap out at you. So here you again see that representation of the tubular framework, running boards for the rudder pedals, all very nice. As I say, predominantly a black cockpit, so you're not going to see much of this. Maybe needs some shading or some low lights to actually lift it out on the completed model. We shall wait and see. Here we have the last of the grey sprues. This mainly covers the undercarriage legs, the propeller and the exhaust pipes. Now at first I thought there were four sets of exhaust pipes, but what there actually are 2 sets of pipes that are made by joining 2 of the 4 parts together. I hope I made that clear, I didn't understand that bit myself. So here we have the instructions. These are in Airfix's current 3D style, which I find very clear and easy to follow. Anything marked in red is something that has been assembled or partially assembled in a preceding stage and is now being fitted to the model. This enables you to keep track of exactly where you are. I actually quite like it, though to a novice it could be a bit confusing. Right, my favourite anti-Airfix bit, colours. Colours are called out with numbers using the Humbrol paint range. Obviously, you will need to convert these to another range. I highly recommend IPMS's Stockholm's colour converting website if you do want to choose a different paint range. But it would be a bit easier if they did actually just put the number and then what the colour actually is, i.e. 33 black. So it would just make life a little bit simpler for the modeller. And here we have the decal sheet. Now I've no idea where this is printed. I'm pretty sure it's not Italian. It has got a glossy finish. Colours really accurately in most areas. Certainly the dark red on the roundels is perfect. You do get the yellow leading edge stripes as part of this, though I'm not sure how successful that will be. Wing walkways, the invasion stripes we've already mentioned, and the dials for the instrument panel. Again, in this aircraft, everything you would need. The only bit I'm a bit unsure of, and this is down to research rather than anything else, is all the squadron codes are in light grey, as is the tailband, and I thought the tailband was sky. It might be I'm wrong on that one, but it's something I'll have to do a little bit of research on before building the model. So there we have it, Airfix's latest new tooled kit in 1/72nd scale, the Hawker Tempest Mark 5. They really look like they've done a good job on this one. You've got lots of nice detail. For this scale, more than adequate. You don't really need a lot of aftermarket. Certainly if I wasn't fitting the pilot figure, I would be adding some extra brass seats, and I would have to do something with that rear intake screen. Sorry, you can't see it, but I just know it's there. But out of the box, this builds into a very nice model, and you've got that decal sheet with two very attractive options. So yeah, really, really well done, Airfix. I think this one is going to be a winner. It is priced at the lower end of the current Airfix scale, so $11.99 in the UK. And as I do this, it is just about to appear in the shops.